when you don't have the public that will come here protest or sign your petition or do whatever, there is not much space which is work.
Thank you, Mariela. I think it seems I'm so relaxed here, so everybody else here is so relaxed. So let's hear from you. I think I saw a card somewhere. Okay.
Hi, my name is Umba. I'm from Malawi. I think for many young people that work with media, the case in my country is that, well, if you want to work with media, you need to have money. Journalists in my country will not come to an event or a project activity if you don't give them money. And giving them that money does not guarantee that your article will be published. So what are the strategies that we can share as young people on how to best work with media? And especially on reporting or SRH, because even there are other partners and donors that have tried to train specific journalists on SRH, but the thing is, with by the end of the day, they don't get to decide what story goes into the newspaper. That's the editor-in-chief that decides that, and it's never part of this meeting. So what are the strategies that we can share as young people?
Well, I can share our experience. So I'm working with for Council Communication and Research from Zagreb, and we started our own platform in virtual space. So we have a portal that has various articles on gender, sex, and democracy. And we have a lot of volunteers and small people who are regular contributors, and that's a great thing because we always get some response from the public. But as I said, we are a 4 million people country, you know. But you can always start your own platform if nothing works. That's advice.
Thank you very much. But on her question as well, quickly, I don't know if this happens also in your various countries. In Ghana, it happens just like in Malawi, where journalists, when they come for a program or an event, you have to pay them some money before the story. There's not a condition for the story to be published, though, but it's like showing some form of appreciation. Does it happen in your individual account? Just a quick one. Definitely. Oh, so in Bangladesh it does. Looking more of Africa.
No, it is not, but I think journalists do like hors
Okay, and then?
They can ignore you or publish it, but they do not ask money for it.
Okay, so maybe this might be an African thing that we need to figure out. I'm a journalist myself, and I don't demand anything for sure. I don't know.
transportation.
Let's go.
Okay, we have another place.
Okay, but before that, let me introduce our beautiful panelist who just joined us. She was engaged in another session, but fortunately we have her here. I'll let her do a quick introduction and then we can go.
My name is Joanny Bewa. I'm from Benin. I am practicing medicine in a community health center, and I'm also running a youth organization that is called the Young Beninese Leaders Association. And I am a proud women leader, young leader. Thank you.
Yeah, for that. Because we are all proud young leaders, young scholarship recipients. So fortunate to be part of this big event happening in Denmark currently. And Curious Minds, we are also hosting you to a nice edition of Gems of Our Time when we say the agenda in young people's development. Abena, over to you.
Thank you, Abena. Here is my younger brother sitting in the middle of everything. Okay, he's a journalist. By you have like a real opportunity to speak out what we experience, not being journalists, but we write blogs and then what happens next. Let me tell you how you beat this money game. When you got to get your article published and then they demand money, or like they cut few lines out of the article, and how you feel. So it was 2010. International Women's Day, we organized a Women's Day program, and the journalist afterwards asked me that where is the money to publish. I said actually there is no money because everything is going out of our pockets, so we don't have donor for these things. And then so what do you do? So what he did, the very next day he called me and said like check the newspaper. So he had a like big what I say, like the front page lead news was the Women's Day was organized by men. I mean, actually, because why I was there. I mean, so these were like criticism, and also that there was a national daily called News Today, you know. So News Today is a national daily. So we got published it on News Today as well. So I called him back and I said, like, you know what, man? Thank you for covering our news. And what we did, I said, like, you did it this way, and News Today actually took no money. So what I just cut the caption and put that on the website. Okay, now how it looks like. You published big picture of the whole program. Thank you for publishing this. I just cut that line that meant to criticize. So this is somehow you can just beat it, you know. And we need like more journalists, young people who are journalists here, so to come, I mean, bring them on the board. Actually, because like the old-fashioned thing talks about getting money to get things published should be like moving out by getting more young people on the board. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and I really side with your contribution. I'm also a young journalist. I just finished my last paper on Saturday, and then on Sunday I was my way here. So I just graduated. And it has been a challenge when it comes to the media, because being a young leader, you see that certain things are happening that you want to change. And it's very difficult. There were times when in a media organization I wanted to do stories on safe abortion, and my editor really found it not newsworthy. Because what is it about safe abortion, about maternal mortality issues? That is the difficulty, that is the challenge that journalists face. And so, like he said, more of young people who have the passion and interest should get into the media. I realize the media is really, we say media, but it's the individual journalist in the media organization who write stories based on their passion. So if you have a bunch of journalists in there who are all doing political news, economic news, and no one really has passion for young people's issues, it's become a bit difficult. But quickly, let me draw Joanne into the conversation here so that she catches up really with us. We have been discussing young people, how the media is represented in our various countries. Let's know from your end, what major issues are highlighted in the media, and are young people duly represented in terms of their reproductive rights?
Thank you for the question. Well, in Benin, one of the most important issues that are published in media are politics. You know, politics, finance, economy, military issue, governance, but not really health issues. But when there is a health conference on health, yes, cover health issues. But is it enough? I'm going to wait for a conference on health before talking about health issues. I don't think. Now we have an issue related to early pregnancies, and we do try to talk a bit more about early pregnancies, because the rate of early pregnancies in our country is high, even in schools and out of school. We do have a low HIV/AIDS prevalence, and this is a good effort that we did, but we still think that we have to continue, you know, the advocacy for HIV/AIDS. Young people have youth journalists who are also prominent, who also try, but still the ones who are the most prominent are adults. So we still need to make pressure, advocacy, so that young women journalists, young boy journalists can be on the front and can lead, you know, advocacy in media. Fortunately, using social media, we have vibrant, dynamic, fantastic young people who try to drive change using social media, using WhatsApp, using Facebook, and using Twitter, and have to celebrate that.
Thank you very much for your wonderful contribution. I think Adriana, you wanted to add something as regards to media.
I was thinking about this individual level that you mentioned. I think it's really important. Like in my experience, we've built relationships with individuals. Like when we want a story published, we just contact that journalist and say, hey, we're doing this, we're doing that. They kind of relate, and then it's usually young people. At the same time, if you, in your organization, in your coalitions, kind of respect the intergenerational thing, and you also work with people involved in the promoting of comprehensive sexual education who are older, they will have their own connections. Their connections in the media will be now seniors, so you can get seniors in media on your side, like through your partners in your organization who are older.
Let me quickly find out from Ricky. That's a short name I'll prefer to use, a young journalist. We are trying to make the change, all of us here. What role are you playing in getting more of us? Because now we are talking more about young people getting on board, because we realize that the senior colleagues are really, some of them have different interests. What role are we playing to get more of us on board?
Limit of number, so everyone can be a journalist in the newspaper. So what I do is, so we need to, young people are getting suffered from this racial violence. So who you should play a role? The young people should play a role. We are not talking about on the state. We are only talking about how we are seeking our right. We are taking our rights back. So young people should play their role to get their right back. It's not that we are not the old people, but the young people. So yes, a great question about how to increase the number of journalists. So I guess in a newspaper it's about number. So I guess we can increase the number of citizen journalists. We can increase them in the community. We can. That's what I think is in the last 1.5 years, I involved nearly 12 people in the newspaper. They are contributing each and every day. So I think this may be a better option to have a system to write. So I think so. I'm not sure about employing people in the newspaper offices, so it's about the number.
Thank you very much. Where is Abena, my beautiful co-host?
Oh, Abena is
okay.
right here.
Just I can see that a few people just joined in. How do they get contributing to the show? How do they get involved? What are we discussing for today?
Okay, so we are talking about leveraging the media to promote young people's sexual and reproductive health issues. And you can just simply tweet with the hashtag WD2016. You mentioned at CM. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Serious Minds is 20 years old and we are still in our anniversary mood. So yeah, that's our hashtag for the celebration, CM at 20. And then I mentioned at CM Ghana, that's our official Twitter handle. Or you can just give me a wave and I bring you the microphone and you say what you think. But aside all the questions being asked here, we are asking you a general question. How is the media in your region treating young people's sexual and reproductive health? I know we are from very different countries, very different regions, so it's cool to share what's happening in your region with us and everybody else get to know what's happening in your country, right? So we have somebody here, the beautiful Natalie.
Thank you. So my question is not really on the media or just giving an instance, but we are talking here a lot on how we're involving young people, especially on mainstream, not really mainstream media, but maybe on Twitter, on radio and stuff. But in the community that I come from, we don't have a radio, we don't have internet. So basically, what some of the things we're using is something like skits, what are they called, forum theaters, to reach out to more young people. So I think I wanted to ask, how can you speak on that? Maybe one of you could speak on using other forms of media to reach out to young people, especially in those marginalized areas. Because if I talk about radio, newspaper, some of them don't know how to read, some of them don't even know what Twitter is. But the other way is that all methods, unfortunately, can you hold this for me? Thank you.
Okay, after this round, I will let my panelists answer a few of the questions. I still want to pick from the participants if there is any contribution.
And did I mention that we have amazing gifts from Ghana to give out? So anybody who makes a contribution or asks a question gets me too. Please, when I give you the microphone, you might mention your name and country.
Thank you. I'm Elim Dela from Rwanda and I'm presenting the Rwanda Village Concept Project. I want to give a contribution on what's happening in my part in Rwanda. So recently we have a new debate that's just started. It's not about SRHR only. So it's about, it's called 411, debate 411. We have different debates going on, different things. But at some point they brought in sexual reproductive health. It's usually on TV. And it was quite amazing what the old people think about talking about sexual reproductive health. Because like the people who are the eldest in the panel were not supporting at all talking about sexual reproductive health in schools because they thought it's because of culture. And something else that's happening also, we have more of there are plays at theatre, but through radio, which is they're talking about sexual reproductive health, and it's used mostly for people in the rural areas, because not everyone has access to social media and internet. So we believe if we are able to target more people that do not have access to internet, it's going to because they're the ones actually that are most affected, because they're the ones that cannot know all this information. So I believe if we use those other kinds of communication with people that are in the marginal areas, I think it will be much better. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I think we'll take the last one from the participants.
Hi there, I'm Gosia, I'm from Poland, and I'm a coordinator of Mass for Europe, which is a Central and Eastern European network for youth HR. And I'd like to share one challenge which I see when it comes to talking about young people's SRHR in my country. And I would like to ask you about this challenge if you have the same one. Like when we talk about, we get to the media, to TV programs or newspapers, very often it's that journalists try to simplify our message. And when we try to talk about sexual education, they start to think, oh, so you talk about masturbation, about condoms. Then when we talk about gender-based violence, so they start talking about rape and the guilt of women. So this is like the kind of simplification which is very hard to counteract, especially when you're on a 10-minute TV program and you have not much time, but you want to explain everything and transfer your message fully. So I'd like to ask, whoever would like to say this, if you experience such a challenge with journalists simplifying, and what strategies do you recommend, or what strategies do you apply in such situations?
Two more.
I'm Mohammed Zak from Somalia. Thank you all. And what I would like to add is, like, in my country, usually it's very complicated to talk about the sexual rights, health rights, all these things in the media. We're not allowed to print it or to publish your things. But what we use is, like, we contribute some money from our YPS and the new YPS. Then we went to the telecommunication company as a text message. So we pay them. They will publish everything we need as a text message. If you subscribe that they are using, for example, in the little place where I'm from, it's like 3 million people are around that telecommunication company. You will pay some few dollars. They will publish whatever you gave them, and then it reaches everyone, no matter what age it is, no matter what gender it is. It will reach everyone who is a subscriber for their cards. So will get, like, at one time, oh, this is a message from, it's called Golis Telecommunication Company. It's the biggest, and everyone has it. So what I was like to add is, like, you guys, you can use the telecommunication company as a text message. You will pay them. They are looking for profit. They don't care about what you are texting, what you are doing. Just they want to get the money. You will pay for them. They will publish everything in your ask them. That's it.
That comes at a cost as well. Okay, so I'm happy we have more participants who want to contribute. We'll take as many as now we have Ephraim and then one more.
Thank you very much. I'm Dr. Frank Kisangala from Uganda. I work with an organization called NIF and practicing medical doctor in the military hospital. About the issues of SHR and the media, it's very interesting that the truth is that the youth are the majority of data worldwide, even in Uganda where I come from. 56% of the population is below 18 years of age. But we have telling that to the older people who are in these studios, who are behind the screen, they actually don't want to get out of that place, and there's no way a young person is going to push them out. And the other thing is that they have totally different priorities. For them, they are discussing pension, they are discussing skyscrapers, and the other rest of the things. And we, the youth, are totally thinking about, how do we have fewer children? How do we manage our small community? And if we young people don't really try to find a way of breaking the screen and getting behind the curtain, behind the screen, I think we'll be we will not actually win the battle. So I would really think that if we really think one of the things we can do is become a little more innovative. The founder of Facebook started it when he was a youth. And if we get more innovative, create more blogs and a number of things, I believe we shall create a bigger impact and leave them with their stations. Probably. It's an option. Thank you.
Okay, the way forward, let's write more, let's use social media and other less expensive forms to break through. Okay.
Hi there, I'm Sally. I'm from BBC Media Action. We're an international development charity that uses media and communications for health, governance and resilience outcomes. And we also do capacity building of local media partners to improve media. One of the most successful programs we've had in Cambodia has been a sexual and reproductive health program called Love 9, which uses both drama and a magazine type format on TV to improve knowledge around sexual and reproductive health. I wanted to ask the panel a little bit about drama and the role that drama can play in improving particularly sexual health outcomes in different countries across the world.
Okay, thank you very much, taking the discussions to a much more broader level. I know my panelists here are taking good notes and all the suggestions and contributions will be duly answered. Anyone? Yes. Okay. Say last. Okay.
My name is Margaret Olaji and I'm from Nigeria. So I just want to make some comments about how you can use the media to reach out to young people too. I remembered after finishing my first degree, I just discovered a community radio station in my community, and then I walk up to them. It's been a very boring radio station. They do very boring things. I'm like, can I just help you? Can I learn? Can I do something? And of course, I was accepted. I was learning. And while learning on the job, I was also doing some presentation, co-presenting and all of that. But that was the entering point because I started to learn some things and I was bringing in interesting program, interesting in their context. They just wanted something about music. They wanted, okay, when it's news, you talk about politics and the other things. But of course, because I was able to go there, being a community radio station, I decided to bring in the voices of the young girls, and of course in this community most of the parents use radio, and it was a radio station, so it was taking it beat by beat. So I started a program and they're like, okay, it's okay, we say it's people just call, you throw out the issue. It was issues that they like, and gradually there's those young girls, they want to come and start learning like I'm doing too. So when they come, we talk about issues around child marriage, challenges, and some of the girls have interesting stories to tell, and they started saying it. So what I'm trying to say is the fact that at times I wasn't paid for any of this. You get what I'm saying? So you just need to take the step. You can start from your local community. At that point, they might be able to admit you and just accept you to be in the station. Okay, maybe she's not just getting anything out of this, but the truth is that this program has really grown and it's attracting a lot of people. And I remember the last International Day on the Girl Child, the community station decided to call it like a branch. So the main headquarters came to view all that we said. So it was a better coverage, we're reaching more people, and then we're talking about girl child education, we're talking about delay in marriage and all of that. So we started really small and then we're growing. So I think youth just need the passion to go for what they want, and then don't mind starting.
Okay, she started really small and now she has really graduated and her program is really recognized. That's how young people, we should also begin to make some impact. Of course, it doesn't work. The challenges are different depending on where you are. There always has to be that initiative. I'm forced to come back to my panelists. Okay, a quick one, and then our panelists could answer because there have been quite a number of questions I know they have to respond to.
My name is Bridget. I'm from Toronto, Canada. I wanted to share, earlier there was a question about how to engage in conversations about sexual and reproductive health in ways that don't involve maybe technology. And I used to work at a domestic violence shelter in Alaska, and talking about sex was controversial. And so what we did is we went to different schools to have conversations about healthy relationships, and teenagers would lead those conversations and they would do acting skits, and that was really effective in having conversations about healthy relationships, and then other questions would come up and we could talk about other issues. A question I just wanted to posed to the group was, it sounds like there's amazing work going on all over the world by different youth leaders who are writing and creating their own media. And I'm wondering if there's ways that we can leverage that to support one another globally. I don't know if it's like a hashtag or something. I personally read, mainstream North American media, but I would love to be able to connect and learn about media creation and blogs that people are doing and writing all over the world.
Thank you very much. Now I'll come straight to our panelists. Quite a number of questions and issues have been very interesting ones, of course. And one came out with the issue of drama being used in the media, also with the issue of the journalists misquoting or trying to summarize, simplify issues when that's not actually what we meant. And it's happened a lot of times. I mean, with iPass Ghana, for instance, at a point which the director had to go for a program, and then in the course of speaking about contracepting young people, the media quoted him saying that the country director encourages young people to have sex. That was just a quotation, but the main content, the main issue was about young people protecting themselves from contraception. But look at the angle the media takes it from, because of course that is what people make it more commercial for people to feel in. So these are some of the challenges, but let me put my panelists who are using with us to hear from them as well. Diana.
Okay, I have a few notes. I'm going to try to be quick. On the issue of simplification, I think it's hard to teach a nation critical thinking, but that's a task to do. Since I'm doing sexual education for teenagers, I'm always trying to, and comprehensive sexual education, I'm always trying to break real complex, real profound things into simple terms. So I kind of have this. I have this training that I put myself through. So I think if we can break complex issues into real simple parts, they cannot oversimplify it more. So that thing. And on no resources and drama and stuff, I don't have a lot of experience there, but I know a really cool project in Romania where they worked with poor kids and the Roma minority in Romania, which is really racially discriminated against, and they helped them write their own newspaper. Like these were kids who didn't like school, didn't feel appreciated in school, and giving them an outlet, and also encouraging them to start a little business and sell their newspaper in their community for a little bit of money and get their voices out there. And I know that those kids were really happy about it. About drama, I don't know about drama, drama. I know stories are important in this kind of topic. It's important to tell stories. It's important to tell stories people can relate to. I know I use comedy in my video blogs on YouTube. For example, just a couple of weeks ago, I did a video on where do young people have sex? Where do you have sex? So I filmed myself running around in a forest, hiding behind keys and stuff. So I don't know about drama, but comedy works.
Richard, before Joanne comes in, we have Salasi here. He's a youth focal person for Planned Parenthood Association Ghana. He has some quick comments about the questions some of our audience asked.
And to sincerely apologize, I'm supposed to be on the panel, but caught up in some other issues. One, on the issue about what to do in communities where there is no radio and how do we reach young people. I think one of the exposed is the use of drama, but not necessarily big, huge drama. You could have street drama, which is you just need two young people who would start acting out in the street and debating amongst themselves why I should use a condom, why that person should use a condom. And then as you're doing it, you attract attention from other people. And once you see you gather so many people around you, then you start the conversation and use that as a tool to reach out to a lot more young people in your community. The other thing you can do is, if you're in a rural community where there's no access to a radio station for you to radio broadcast, you could probably build partnership with radio programs that are outside your city, but you have radio sets where you organize young people in groups and sets to listen to discussions. For example, a previous white program is airing. You have a group of young people together and they listen. After listening, then you initiate discussions. So what do you think about sex? What do you think about that? The other thing I wanted to mention related to getting the attention of the media, having the journalists report the issue. What we need to learn as young people is to create news and make news-worthy stories for the media to cover. I mean, we know, for example, in Africa that the population now, we're talking about demographic dividend. We have a huge chunk of the population that are young people in Africa. That is news in itself, and that is power, that is resource, that is wealth that you have. And we have to learn from the civil rights activists. We have Mandela here. Where is Mandela? I mean, these are people we should learn from. Create news for yourselves and let the media report the news as it is. You don't wait for them to come to you for the news. You must take the news to them. Even if they ignore you, you create the news right here in this huge place. We can decide to create news here. All we have to do is start shouting, hey, 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 and whoever we need to hear us, what's going on here? What do they want? You get the attention of them. And you tell them what you want to tell them. And right here behind us is Babatunde speaking on this banner and say something. And he again said something at the opening ceremony. We have the power of young people and we need to use that power and push the media to put our agenda across. They have no option but to put it across if we give them the news. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Richard, so it seems we have some new faces here. Quickly, we are talking about leveraging the media to promote young people's sexual and reproductive health issues. And this is a special edition of the Curious Minds program called Gems of Our Time. And that is where we set the agenda and discuss issues that affect the development of young people in Ghana. This is, of course, a special edition. We have very interesting people here. And so the discussions are going on, but if you want to contribute, feel free to just give me a wave. I'll bring you the microphone and you share your views with us. If you disagree with anything our panelists say, you are free to also say what you think. So Richard, back to you.
I just feel like being a bit of like we start doing hey, hey,
hey, hey, hey, hey, hey, hey, hey,
and then we make the news. Everyone is looking. That's great. Thank you very much, Lassie. Still on the discussions. I'll go to my panel members. I mean, a lot has been said. Let me go to.
I definitely agree with the one who talked before. Okay. So I take it, right? Let's make noise, and still make noise, and provide key and strong content. This is what I can say. For the journalists who used to simplify our message, let's have a clear message, simply understandable. Let's have some press communicate that we can still use and we can still show with them. But one thing, let's build a strong network of young journalists that can become your allies, your partners. And I'm sure that they will not change the message, they will go on the same way with you. So let's see how we can even informally have that young journalist around that can support the message. The role of drama, definitely yes. I use sports in our organization to promote SRHR, and I think that drama, video, blog are innovative ways to engage young people. And songs also, Girls Not Bride have made an amazing, beautiful song that just make me speechless. And I can tell you that these ways, the way we use innovative strategies like music, drama, art, sports, can make the difference. And yes, definitely, we have local problems, but the solutions are global. So let's find global solution to our local problem. You from Canada, you from Rwanda, you from Somalia. We can join, we can have a common hashtag, we can support, share our blog, we can bring our perspective together. Let's find global solutions to our local problem.
Let's find global solutions to our local problem. No, I'm not trying to stop it. If we want to make some more, let me move to Hassan. Hassan also a young journalist, and I mean today I think the discussion is shifting more to what we the young people can do ourselves, because it seems now we have to make the change from here and it goes up, because already the system has its own interests, its own dynamics. How can young people, me, you, everyone sitting here get active actively involved?
So I guess Guy Mandela had a very great question. He had that the textbook teachers are not teaching the SRHR issues in the classroom. So Mandela had a great question there. So we made a survey in my country. There were 10 schools, and we found that the 80% teachers are skipping the SRHR issues in the classroom. So that's a great question the Mandela asked for. We think we should write it. We actually made 5 reports on the 10 schools that why they are not teaching SRHR in the classroom. So later we found that everyone committed and they are studying SRHR issues in the classroom. So I think teachers should teach SRHR in the classroom. And one thing I think is that, you know, for my country is one of the fastest growing economy, and but one thing is that I can tell you that we should put SRHR forward to measure the GDP. You know GDP. So everyone counting in terms of economy, terms of number. So this is the right time. We put SRHR forward to measure our GDP. We have a 7 and 5% GDP. Is amazing. Our nation is thriving in economy, but our women, they are suffering. Our young people, they are suffering. So what can I do with this GDP? So we must put forward GDP. We must put forward SRHR issues to measure GDP. So I think these two issues can have a great impact.
Thank you very much. So looking at development more as an improvement in the human standard, not some figures about GDP which does not really reflect in our pockets. Mariana.
Marinella.
Yeah, it's fine. I would just like to reflect on the questions regarding drama and areas with no internet and radio, etc. We used forum theater to talk about transsexuality, and that was a really great way to engage people to start thinking about the problem. And I think that we have to go like underground with pamphlets and stuff like that, using your A4 paper and ink, and that way to share a message. Regarding the simplification of the messages, as I think Ariana and my colleagues already said, we have to keep the messages simple. But at the same time, if you have a hard time getting to the media, if they present your message in not the most accurate way possible, you are still in the media, you still have some visibility. So that's one way to just like ignore the problem of not being so accurate. But all of us, most of us in the Eastern Europe, we have our websites or portals, etc. And we can always push the accurate information there. But if you are on the national television in prime time, and a lot of people will see you, if the message isn't so accurate, they will go to your website and check you out, and they will want to know more. So I think that's really important. And when it comes to young people in the media, if we cannot like go to the mainstream media, we will have to build our own. So we can use podcasts, YouTube, as my colleague does. We can organize blogs, networks of blogs, share stuff on the internet. There is so many of us. We have to work together to make stuff happen.
Hey, 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 hey.
Come on, let's make the news.
Hey, 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 hey.
They are watching. Okay.
Okay, Richard, we have some more contributions.
My name is Binta Butale. I work with the Swedish HIV and AIDS Workplace Program. That is an initiative by the private sector. The people that attempt to be bad, they're actually doing good. And the unions. My contribution is on 2 levels. First of all, if it can't be measured, it doesn't exist. So we have to find ways on how we can measure how you're impacting young people. That's one thing we've all learned about this conference. And another thing is I want to share with you how us as the private sector are spreading the word on sexual and reproductive health. I work with so many Swedish companies in sub-Saharan Africa, and I'll give 2 examples of Sandvik Mining, which maybe most of you have heard about. They have a sexual reproductive health program that they're using, targeting children of employees in Tanzania and Kenya, and they've recorded very good progress that parents are talking to their children much more they've set a platform, and people are exploring their sexual rights and even questioning their identity, and parents have begun to understand this. So maybe using the media sometimes should be like a long-term vision, but maybe we should start in the communities, talking to parents, talking to guardians, maybe is the solution before we end up going to the media. And Ericsson, as you learned about today, if you came for the session in the morning, they have something called Learning for Girls, and that's something that they're using to target to teach women and young girls ITC training, but they are also using that as a platform for them to talk about other sexual and reproductive health matters. So maybe we need, for me I feel like everything you're doing is very good, you're on point, like you guys are.
Yay!
But the thing is you have to involve the parents before anything, because it won't get past them anyway. So you're all doing an amazing thing, but look at the parents as well.
Thank you very much. The devil, time is always factor. We are going to quickly take wrap-up statement from our colleagues here, but I will let Joanie come in first to briefly, all what has been discussed here, what do you think should be the way forward?
Thank you. We have only 3 things to do. The first is action, the second is action, and the third one is more action. Thank you.
Action, 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 and that's exactly what we'll be doing. Let me move to Ricky. Some final words, as well as especially with you and Marinella. In your wrap-up statement, I want to know how data is available for young people. Because if I'm a young journalist and I want to write a news feature, a story, I need data. If I don't have data, I can't manipulate
the status. So, in my case, there are a lot of data, but sometimes the data is not updated. Sometimes the data is not complete. So that's why what we do is kind of partial data analysis. And so newspaper is not a research organization. Newspaper is not a research organization, so we cannot make a survey, we cannot make a big survey to have very complete data and then analysis. So the data issues is kind of research organization, it's kind of think tank. So that's why we are always having some data from research organizations, and the newspaper actually is not able to have a data. But we have data, but sometimes data is very backdated and it's not updated.
Okay, so quick comment. Quickly, when we are done here, we would like young people here, I know most of you are either interested in media one way, quick interactions with each other, exchange contact. Let's see how we can maintain what we have discussed here today. No one should be quick to leave. We need to create that network.
Well, we lack all sorts of data. We have from what the National Health Institute gives us every year. And those are the data on our underage pregnancy and HIV, I think, number of people who are living with HIV. But we don't have any data on how many youth is actually using contraception. The only thing that we know is what we find out while working with children, giving them some kind of workshops and stuff. And it's hard to actually get to them because of the whole conservative stuff that I was talking about. Because most of the schools are not letting CSOs come and give and share any knowledge on SRHR. So yeah, data is important, but somehow you have to produce it by doing surveys and focus groups and stuff like that.
Adriana, you have the last words.
Oh, pressure. Action. I would say if internet usage is fair in your country, then there should be a comprehensive sexual education YouTube channel in your country. Be perseverant, do things in a continuous manner, and that will really help a lot of people.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for our wonderful panelists here. And you, of course, who have given us wonderful contributions. We have been discussing how to use media to leverage advocacy when it comes to young people's sexual and reproductive rights. This show has been hosted by Curious Minds. The name of the show is Gems of Our Time, where we set agenda and young people's discussions. Today, indeed, we have set the agenda, and I know when we leave here, we are going to talk more and more about media issues. But now, maybe some of you are wondering, what is Curious Minds? What do we do? Sir, no, you want me not to call you Sarah, your English name. You want your local name to be used. So,
Yeah,
Abena, how did you join Curious Minds?
Okay, so I joined Curious Minds in 2008.
Wow.
A friend of mine from high school introduced Curious Minds to me, and I went for the first meeting, and I just got stuck.
How has Curious Minds impacted your life? Just tell our wonderful audience here.
The impact has been amazing. When I joined Curious Minds, I was already passionate about young people's development, but I didn't know where to start, where to go, or anything like that. And then I went to the first meeting, and everything that was discussed just caught my attention. So I said, yeah, I have to be here. And from then on, I received training, capacity building, and a lot of issues concerning young people's development. I've never been to any journalism school, but Curious Minds
I have.
Oh yeah. But Curious Minds gave me training as a radio presenter, and now I can sit in any studio and just start talking. Talking is a passion, so I mean, I'm so comfortable, and now I can talk. I can just be anywhere, say whatever is on my mind, and say it well and make sense actually. So yes, and it's opened a lot of doors for me. I've been able to partake in a lot of opportunities.
Traveled to so many places, met so many different guys.
Did you really have to add that?
And friends. I'll leave that out.
Yeah, so that's it.
Okay, thank you very much. We are almost done. I also joined Curious Minds 10 years ago when I was in primary
Richard,
school.
how old are you? 10 years is a lot.
It's a lot. I was in primary school, class 3. And then a group of young people, including that wonderful lady that I did, they came to my school and were scouting for members to join the organization. So from class 3, I joined Curious Minds. We were taken to a series of training by different UN agencies, build our capacities, and it shaped me actually into becoming a professional journalist, which I officially finished school like 3 days ago. And so...
Hey, he's a graduate.
Curious Minds shaped the passion to become a journalist, and we've been writing more about young people's sexual and reproductive rights issues. And it has really helped because at the end of the day, young people who understand the issues are writing on the issues and are communicators, so are better able to tell others what should be done. So Curious Minds, we are 20 years. This is what we have been doing, and thank you all for joining us today for our wonderful discussions. Network and feel free. We will sign off on Gems of Our Time, where we set the agenda in young people's development.
Thank you so much. So because there's no time, usually we do a pre-production and a post-production before our radio segment. And don't mind me walking all around. That's what we usually do during the radio programs. Like, can you say this? Can you say this? So just wanted to have an idea how Curious Minds does their radio program. You can always follow us at CM Ghana. Our producer is Kingsley Obentra. He's not here, but he's listening, trust me. So thank you so much for coming, and we hope you still follow us on social media. Bye.
Hey, 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 How was the program?
It was amazing.
Great.
It was amazing. You were
Okay. You're live.
You guys are amazing. I'm incredibly impressed and incredibly inspired. Congratulations.
Oh, great.
And if you guys want to stick around, we're going to have a session next talking about using inclusive language in sexual and reproductive health and rights. So stay tuned.
My message on to Kingsley to say he's awesome. I've met him a few years back in Girls with Rights. So yeah.
Oh, you met Kingsley. Say hi.
How you doing, my love?
Say hi to him.
I will. Hey Kingsley, is it you? Hey
Yeah.
Kingsley.
Great.